While we're talking about what worked today, energy financials, Anastasia, and the small caps, the Russell 2000 closing at an all-time high again today. I think it's the third time in the last 5 sessions. We've seen a string of those record closes lately. That was always a place that investors went for value to play catch up on some of the cyclical names. Is that still the case, even with the Russell's big surge?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, all these ideas that we just discussed, whether it's energy, whether it's small caps, whether it's banks, they all fit into the category of value. And we do think that there's more to those trades, especially as you look throughout the rest of the year. I will agree that maybe short-term Q1 things look a little bit stretched. But when we look at the rebound in GDP that we really expect to take hold in Q2 and Q3, that's what you're really investing for in those value trades for. I will throw one other idea in here, which is emerging markets, which we've not yet talked about. But talk about a sector, a region that is really highly levered to global growth. And by the way, upside in commodities, that is emerging markets. So all of a sudden, we have a much better global growth backdrop that we see this year. And by the way, China has already rebounded. So when you think about the rest of emerging markets, whether it's Russia, Brazil, or other economies, a lot of their growth is tied to China. So I like the fact that China has already been on the upswing and some of these emerging markets are doing well because of that. And then you add on top of that the developed market rebound. I really think you have a pretty good runway here for emerging markets.
Does that call, Anastasia, only work if the dollar continues weakening, or if it just stays at these lower levels compared to recent years? Can emerging markets perform?
Emerging markets can perform if the dollar even stays around these levels, and it's not a view necessarily predicated on further dollar depreciation here. We have seen emerging market currencies stabilize; they're not falling. So it's really now about return to growth. And getting back to the commodity story, if some of the investors don't want to invest in commodity of oil itself, the proxy for that still is emerging markets and the likes of Russia, for example. So it's not just a dollar weaker story. It's really a growth rebound here.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.